without a shadow of a doubt. It's the Crunkin' Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to the war zone. I got my good friend Donovan Siddiqui hiding in the back. He gonna work the comments. I got the queen, Demetra K. And tonight I got a bona fide hip-hop legend from the group Jurassic 5. Akil Talib is in the building. We're going to talk about hip-hop, being black, and politics. I hope y'all got a seatbelt. You know how we do. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another edition of the War Zone, and I appreciate you guys tuning in to what we do, man. As usual, I normally say the same thing every night that there's no way in hell we could do what we do without you guys. You're the best audience in the world. Donovan is actually here. He's gonna work the comments for us, and we're gonna get it going like that. You know, and Demetra, we're gonna kick it off with you. You know, because normally you try to figure out what's been going on during the course of a day, and then we'll get into our fabulous guest who's blessed our screens tonight. And if you're a true hip hop fan, you're gonna know who this man is. You feel what I'm saying? But if you're a fake hip hop fan, you know I'm gonna holler at you. What's going on, D?
So once again, hello to everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the War Zone. As Gary said, Donovan, his internet was down, so he's actually going to be with you guys in the comments. And yes, indeed, we do have a hip hop legend here, Akil Talib from Jurassic 5. And so we're going to get into what he's been up to and all that. Of course, we're going to talk politics and just a whole host of things surrounding Black issues for this hour here. But just things that are going on in the news, Gary, there in Houston, they're about to shut you guys down again. What's up with that?
Well, they I think I said it some.
I think he froze up. It happens. So we'll wait for it. And it's rare that it happens, but it happens. So we'll wait for him to unfreeze himself. So in the meantime, I wanted to wait to get into it just a little bit. So it's just us right now. So anyway, first of all, I'd like to give a big giant shout out to Charles Edwards, an old friend of mine. I think I've known Charles, oh my gosh, since like the 9th grade. I always tell a story about him getting me in trouble, but I won't say how he got me in trouble. But he did. And so anyway, I want to thank him for hooking us up with being able to talk to you, Akil. And so for you guys that don't know, Akil is one of our, and again, correct me if I'm wrong in anything that I'm saying, he's part of a 6-member group called Jurassic 5. It's been around since the early 90s. In fact, you guys are known as iconic in regards to 90s hip hop. One of the songs that I think everybody should know is What's Golden. Right. Everybody, I think, has heard that song, and then maybe they don't recognize the name, but if they hear it, they're like, oh yeah, I know that song. And so you all have been together, I think, since 1993, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like about 94ish and stuff. You know, we actually did a song that made us a group and stuff, but we wasn't trying to be a group. We just happened to do a song, and the group is based on like 2 different groups and a DJ that was a producer or whatnot. So we did a song called Unified Revolution in like 94 or whatnot. And one of the DJs, he was like, yo, can you hop on this song? My group Rebels of Rhythm. Do you want to hop on this song? I got this old school beat because, you know, our flow is, you know, basically like some old school, you know, early 80s hip hop or whatnot, you know, or even to the 70s or whatnot and stuff. So he was like, I got this beat that I think y'all would sound good on. So we actually did our verse on it. And so he said, man, you know, do you think the rappers from my group can get on the song? And we had already asked them what wanted to do a song with them anyway and stuff. So this was just the perfect time. So they hopped on it and stuff. And then we we just did it to perform at this spot called The Good Life. The Good Life was an open mic spot in LA that, you know, everybody and their mama came by there to perform every Thursday to get, you know, get their skills on. And, you know, we said, well, let's perform it there, you know, and just test it out and see how it worked out. And people loved it and stuff, you know. So the song is called Unified Revolution. Okay, there you go.
And so a lot of people might think that you got your name from Jurassic Park, the movie, or the Steven Spielberg movie, but that's not actually true. Tell the people where you guys actually got your, or how you got your name.
So when we did that song, and like I said, we performed it at The Good Life, and people was loving it and stuff. So, you know, he's like, man, let's just put out a 12-inch, you know, of it and stuff, because we had labels that was after us, looking for us. And so they after they was like, yo, you know, well before then we was trying to get on labels and stuff on our separate groups, Rebels of Rhythm and Unity Committee. And so the labels passed on us. So we was like, man, forget the label. We're just gonna put it out our own self. So we put it out there, you know, pressed up like 500 copies, and then you know, different people start trying to get at us or whatnot. So when this label TVT from the East Coast was like, yo, you know, we want to give y'all a 12-inch deal or whatnot and stuff. So we was like, shit, you know, hell yeah. Nobody wasn't giving us nothing. So we was like, yeah, let's do it and stuff. So prior to that, one of my group members, son's mom, she was like, y'all think y'all sound like the Fantastic Five. It's more like the Jurassic Five. So one of my group members was like, yo, he was like, man, that's a nice name. He's like, man, if we become a group, what do y'all think about this name? And we was like, yeah, but we was still like on our own separate thing. Like, yeah, you know, but I'm still Rebels of Rhythm on mine. Like, you know, I didn't, you know, voice it like that, but still in my mind, I'm like, yo, you know, Rebels of Rhythm and stuff. So when the label wanted to sign us, and they seen the 12-inch, the 12-inch always say Unified Revolution and stuff, because the Unity Committee and connected with the Rebels of Rhythm. So we made the song called Unified Revolution. So then when they wanted to sign us, they was like, what's the name of the group? Jurassic 5 and stuff, you know. So that's how we actually became a group. It wasn't even like we tried to do it or nothing like that. And the cool part about it is that, you know, our style is like Jurassic Park and stuff, where they you know, something that's a myth, they came and grabbed the DNA from something old and brought it into today's time and stuff. And that's exactly what we did. We took a DNA from the old school, you know, hip hop, and brought it in today's time and stuff. So everything that Jurassic is exactly who we was without even trying to do that and stuff. So, you know.
And you all are actually, well, you're from Los Angeles. You originated out of Los Angeles, but and many compare you to Black Star with Mos Def and Talib Kweli. What do you think about that comparison, or are you aware of that comparison, even though they're on the East Coast?
No, I'm not aware of it, but I understand the connection is that, you know, we basically was out around the same time, and at this time in hip hop and stuff, we represented that pure sound of hip hop, and, you know, that throwback sound, and that, you know, just the pureness of what hip hop was at the time and stuff, you know, because you got to imagine this is like, you know, post Tupac and Biggie being killed or whatnot and stuff, you know, so just a little bit before and then, you know, after or whatnot and stuff. So people in the hip hop world was loving this type of sound. So, you know, they link us with the Roots, with De La Souls, and, you know, so when we're mentioned amongst those people or whatnot and stuff. But yeah, now Talib Kweli and, you know, Mos Def, them my folks right there and stuff. So, you know, that's a great comparison. I love them. So, you know.
And that's what I mean by hip hop royalty, iconic. So tell us what Unified Revolution actually means.
Well, like I said, it was two different groups. I'm from a group called Rebels of Rhythm, and they were from a group called Unity Committee. So we just put the two together, Unified Revolution and stuff, you know, which, you know, on a bigger scale, it just meant, you know, we were unified in our revolution and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And what we were doing together, because we were all separate at one point and stuff. So we decided to unify and, you know, rebel against the system, you know, and put our own record out, you know, and that was just revolutionary in itself at the time, because not too many people was doing independent records. you know, and standing on it and stuff. So, you know, we put our money together and, you know, pressed up like 500 copies. And from that point on is why I'm here today. You know, that just taking our careers in our own hands and stuff. And we was like, yo, let's put out our own thing and stuff, you know, and we went with it. There was no internet at the time. There was none of that and stuff. You know, it was just your connects and who you knew and, you know, just getting it out there just on a wing and a prayer or whatnot. But we stood strong on that, you know, being that, you know, that we felt like we were revolutionizing ourselves as well, because, you know, too many people passed on us and we knew that we were good, you know, but, you know, you just had to play the politics at that time. And, you know, politics wasn't working for us. So, you know, we was like, damn politics, let's just, you know, the revolution will not be televised. We'll just put it on record. You know what I'm saying?
So speaking of the revolution, I think we've sort of seen some of that within the last month or so with the unfortunate brutal murder of George Floyd. We've seen a lot of people rise up, and some might liken it to a revolution. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you see this picture behind me? This picture behind me is during the 92 riot. I went out and protested and, you know, rioted or, you know, and seen certain things that was open. That's that behind me is hey, excuse me. That was a auto parts store, right? AutoZone in LA on Pico and in La Brea. So this is the second day of the riots. And so we went to a music shop and the music shop was already open. So, you know, we went inside, so we didn't break into anything, you know, it was already open. So we went to go see if it was open and stuff. So people were giving away things. So, you know, we just, you know, had a couple of things that we got or whatnot and stuff. So, you know, we filled up a friend's car and, you know, we couldn't get back in that car. so we was like, we just gonna, you know, find our way back home. So on our way back, we ran into this AutoZone right here. So upon going into the AutoZone, I was like, man, what am I gonna get up out of here? You know, like, you know, they're giving away a lot of things. So I was like, I looked at some vice grips and stuff. And so I seen one of my friends and he grabbing a battery and I'm like, bro, we got to walk back home. What are you grabbing a battery for? Like, you know, like stay pretty far or whatnot. So I started thinking, I said, what I'm going to get? I said some spray paint. Oh, then I was like, let me think, I'm going to write something, but I want to write something that means something. So I'm thinking it's glass breaking and people running in at the same time. It's like real slow motion going on and stuff. And I was like, oh, I know what to write. So I wrote, look on what you created on the wall. And so this is a famous picture now. I in my mind, I was like, I want to write something so that it can be seen. Maybe people take a picture of it, but you know, it didn't really come into fruition until like 10 years later. We was doing an MTV interview and they asked, do you know anything about the riots? You know, like, I mean, like we heard that y'all know some people from the riots, because as a matter of fact, my best friend is Damian Williams, the one that pulled Reginald Denny out that truck and hit him with that brick. So I live right there on 71st, you know, that's my neighborhood. So getting to your question and stuff, you know, the day before when the riots actually kicked off, my auntie was like, Damon and them is throwing rocks at the police down the street. So I walked up the street, which was just 2 blocks up the street, and I seen the police leaving. They was leaving the scene of the crime. I never seen this before. I'm from South Central LA. I never seen this ever in my life before and stuff. So when I got to the corner of 71st and Normandy, I immediately said, to answer your question, this is not no revolution. This is nothing that I was reading about. You know, I came from, you know, reading, you know, autobiography from Malcolm X and, you know, stuff like that at this particular time, you know, in the 80s, you know, 80, 89, about 88 is when I, you know, actually became, you know, woke or whatnot and stuff. So, you know, I read a lot of different revolutionary books and stuff, you know, but what I realized immediately, like I said, you know, I had a couple of Mexican friends that was from the gang over there, a black gang. But so they were throwing stuff, you know, if you came through Florence and Normandy, you was getting, you know, if you wasn't black, you was getting some stuff thrown at you at your car or whatnot and stuff. So I seen some of my Mexican friends throwing some stuff at other Mexicans, and I immediately said, "Yo, y'all know who Mexicans look like. They live here with us and stuff. Why would you be throwing something at them?" Yeah, you right, Akil. And so, like I'm saying, it hit me in my brain. I'm like, this is not no revolution, because I seen some horrible things that was happening, and it didn't have nothing to do with revolution that I thought. So to answer your question and stuff, when people think, until you're involved in something, and that's when you can actually say, oh, this is what it is and stuff. Other than that, I was just theorizing what I thought it was and stuff, and when I actually was in it, then I was able to really recognize, like, oh, this is not, what I would think is a revolution and stuff. Excuse me. Hey, Amir, excuse me. I'm having a meeting right now. Okay. Can y'all go in the other room? I'm sorry. Thank you.
No worries. Life happens. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So speaking of Damian Williams, do you keep up with him now? Is he still incarcerated? What's going on with him? For you guys who don't know who that was the iconic scene, if you will, where the truck driver was snatched out of the car. Was it Reginald Denny, I think his name was
yeah.
out of his big rig and beat up. And then they also called Damian something else, football.
Football, yep, little football, yep. His brother's big football, yep. That's like, that's my, like I said, my spending night over my house friend. Like we're really, really close. So I talk to him almost every day. He's incarcerated. He eventually got out from that in '96, and then he ended up got trumped up on some charges and stuff, in 2000. So he's been locked up since 2000. So he's awaiting a trial to hopefully get out right now or whatnot and stuff. But yeah, I talked to him, and and I did an interview with him, and speaking on what you were asking about, is this a revolution? And and he was like, I'm not really proud of what happened then, because things haven't changed. They're still the same, like at the time, he felt like like I should be acting on this, because what had happened, you had Latasha Harlins that was killed prior to that and stuff. So it wasn't specifically for Rodney King why they went off, because the police was actually harassing them on my street just prior to, or just a little bit after the verdict came in that they were not guilty. So the police was over there harassing them, and they just was like, the gang that's over there and stuff, they was like, wasn't happening and stuff, so they just started kicking off on them and whatnot and stuff. But yeah, I speak to him, almost every day and whatnot.
So would you say that and Gary, please jump in at any time. Would you say what we're seeing now, in your opinion, is a moment or a movement?
Just from experience, I don't see any demands from this, so it just seems like a moment to me. I'm quite sure. I don't want to downplay anything that have been made to be a movement, or even stop anyone's progression or momentum towards that. But the demands, I've seen this before. So I've seen some things come up out of the riots and stuff. A lot of gangs started trucing or whatnot. So, which was a good thing, because gang banging is not the same in LA no more and stuff. You have more people that are trucing in together and stuff. You still have your BS, but for the most part, I seen some things change, and then I seen some things that never changed, and it was just empty promises, and people not prepared for the change. See, because you can be offered these things, but if you're not ready to change, then what is it? What I'm saying? Because after the smoke clears and stuff, what I'm saying, who's in charge? Like what are we? What's the goal? What's the goal? Is the goal just to pull down these statues? Is that the goal? Is it the goal just to change Aunt Jemima now? Or I mean, like, what are the demands and that we're seeking, and as a people, and what we're going for? Because we have the world looking at us now, and unlike the '92 riots, people were looking, but they wasn't involved like how you're seeing right now. You see all of these different races that's involved and stuff, which is beautiful, a beautiful thing. But you know, again, if we don't have our stuff together, then you know, to me, it's just a moment. You know.
I tell you what, brother, I appreciate you coming on.
No
And
doubt.
I always, I love my hip hop legends, man. I've been around this music thing since Ron was on the turntables for Curtis
Oh yeah,
Blow, so I got to see it all.
that's
And
right.
now, when you think about what you just said, it may be a moment. A lot of people don't know the history of, and I just started last night watching the OJ case on Netflix again. I love that the way they did it. And people don't know how violent the LAPD has been against the African American community.
Man.
And, they don't understand. So tell me if I'm wrong about this comment. I always say that people didn't riot because they beat Rodney King. They rioted because they got sick of it. They were tired of it. It was a culture.
Yeah.
So tell me if I'm wrong about that, because I don't live in LA. I used to go there all the time.
No,
but
you
that's the way that I felt.
No, you're exactly right. You know, it's the police, as far as I can remember, in the late 70s and stuff, you had the chokehold was a strong thing and stuff, like people were, being killed by the chokehold and stuff. So, as far as I can remember and stuff, the LAPD has always been, an antagonist towards, black people in Los Angeles. They have always been, a force to be reckoned with. I mean, when I was little and stuff, they would go around and give us Dodger baseball cards and whatnot and stuff. That's when I didn't really, understand what it was. You playing cops and robbers and stuff, things like that and stuff. But, it was a tactic, because once I turned like 12, then, you're going to come in contact with the law. And so those things change, for the younger ones and stuff. And what they were trying to do was just get you on their side so that you can tell, hey, we can talk to this little one, because we, building friendships and stuff, so-called or whatnot. But, but even prior to that, just doing the history and recognizing that, when blacks came to the big cities, like in the 50s and, whatnot and stuff, there was the big migration. A lot of the police that came to beat LAPD came from the South. So it was just a continuation of what was going on in the South, but just in the bigger cities and stuff, especially in Los Angeles or whatnot. So it's always been, antagonistic. So as you can see, from the 65 riots, it's the same. It was the same thing, and then, years later, it was the same, the same thing. So yeah, the police, it was just, it's been a culmination, a buildup. It was a buildup, from that point, from 65 on up to 92 or whatnot, and all these different things that was happening and stuff, and just people which just got fed up, picked up what they could.
I think we might be in the middle of a movement. My problem with the movement is two things. We have too much division to really figure out what we want so we can accomplish the goal to get it.
Right.
And then two, who in the hell is our leadership?
Right.
So, we don't have clear-cut leadership.
No, that's the thing. Like, when she asked the question, that's what I think about. What are the demands and who is leading the charge? Who is the leader? I don't, there is no Jesse Jacksons and, Al Sharptons, and none of those people even exist right now, so, who are the people that's heading the charge? And then you say Black Lives Matter and stuff. And I'm like, well, who the hell is Black Lives Matter and stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because you got two different organizations that I'm hearing that's, Black Lives Matter organization. And then you got one Black Lives Matter movement. But I still don't, there is no face of, that you can look at and stuff. And it ain't in a sense like I'm looking for a savior or nothing like that neither, because, I mean, you have to end up being your own leader at some point too, so, but as far as like who we all picking, who we all agree on, like, did we agree for this person to go and, speak for us and stuff? That hasn't happened. Like, so what you're saying is, I totally agree with that, because I believe it can be a movement, but you know, I don't see who's in the charge of this movement and stuff.
Well,
You know?
in my world, my leadership will speak on July 4th. In my
Right,
world, that's the minister. He'll speak on July 4th. He's been quiet, and he ain't been quiet because he a punk. He
yeah,
been quiet because he been resting,
right,
and wasn't a need to put the brothers in danger or the sisters in danger
right,
behind something that they didn't start. You know, he
right.
gave them fair warning. So I don't know. You tell me, because it may not be your leadership, but do you think that finally black people will stop, look, and listen to the minister, because he gonna give us the game on July 4th. He gonna give us the game. I don't know if Black America is ready to accept it.
Um, you know, I like Farrakhan. You know, I think he has a lot of good things to say and offer or not. I can't speak for the people and how they're going to respond. That's that right there. Is, I mean, because I was in L.A. in '89 when the minister came and spoke to a lot of the gang members, and and some responded and some didn't. So I mean, I don't know. It's a I don't want to be pessimistic. I'm optimistic. Because anything can happen. Possibilities. Of anything can happen. But you know, the thing is, you can agree with somebody, but then your agreement has to come with some type of action. After that. So I can't speak on what will be the action. After I hear what's being said and stuff. Because I mean, he had 1 million people at the Million Man March and stuff, and what actually came up out of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that nothing didn't, because people did wake up to certain things or whatnot and stuff. But and you have an opportunity. You got 1 million people and stuff. You know what I'm saying? There should be. I mean, we shouldn't be at this stage right now.
Exactly.
If that happened. And so I'm like. And like, it's funny that you said I'm gonna see you on July 4th, because that's what I say. I'm like, man, y'all talking all this stuff now. We're gonna see who's gonna be barbecuing and wearing their red, white, and blue. That's where I'm at right there. So I don't know if all this shit is real. Excuse me, I didn't mean to cuss.
Oh no, you fine. Say what you want.
Yeah, I know if it's all real after July 4th.
Well, let me say that there, boy. You said a mouthful right there. You said a mouthful right there, because we believe that it's two types of black people.
Oh yeah,
It's black people and it's professional Negroes. I think the professional Negroes are going to have on their American flag. They're gonna have a pitch blazing, and the real soldiers gonna be looking at them sideways, like, "What the hell is you doing?"
Yeah,
look at where we at right now.
Yeah. I mean, because it happens every year. I mean, okay, you mad about this, but then they just work that little magic and be like, now you back doing a holiday. You know what I'm saying? You're back, doing the things that's of this nation and stuff. And for me, I stand on, we were kidnapped victims. So until we deal with the kidnapping, every other crime is a result and a domino effect of that first kidnapping. And we haven't dealt with the kidnapping. We want to deal with every other crime that happened after the fact and stuff. But as opposed to dealing with the direct fact that we was never, we didn't come here to be citizens. We're not immigrants. We're not refugees. We were kidnapped. So deal with the crime of kidnapping. If you take somebody more than 2 feet, what I'm saying, that's kidnapping. So we came from Africa, and even those that were here, because you have that argument. Somebody say we was always here. But still, even if you was here, you still got transgressed upon and stuff here in America and stuff. So dealing with the crimes that happened to us and stuff, and I think that going by the political structures or the people say, well, we got to get in politics so that we can change this. Like, yo, bro, we never was a part of this in the first place. I never understood that argument that we should become a part of the system and then change the system and stuff. It's because the system was began on corruptness and stuff. So you got to get rid of the corruptness, and you got to be able to start over. As well as we never was considered citizens here. So in order to think that we are citizens and operate in that manner, I think that we're just tricking the hell out of ourselves doing that and stuff.
Hey, this is my last question.
Mhm.
Man, you speaking some real stuff, brother. Black people don't seem to be important. Now you way over there on the left coast. I
Yeah,
got partners over here on the East Coast,
right.
and I got
I'm in
people
Georgia.
out
I'm in
there.
Georgia actually. I'm in
Oh,
Georgia.
okay. So I got people everywhere,
Right.
and it don't seem like black people are important until it's time to vote. So here's my question, because we do it to everybody lately.
Right.
Trump or Biden?
Oh, neither.
Talk to him.
Neither. It's two wings of the same bird. You know what I'm saying? I will shoot the bird down. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the bird. I don't give a fuck about the bird. You know what I'm saying? I never gave two fucks about the bird and stuff, because like I'm saying, when the Constitution was written, we were slaves. So it had nothing to do with us, and even just becoming the Constitution is supposed to protect the American citizens, right? It makes you an American citizen and it protects the rights of American citizens and stuff. So if after 1865 we all of a sudden became American citizens, then why would you need to make an amendment?
But if you don't vote Biden, you ain't black, bro.
Yeah. That he can get that shit up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. I never was with the voting shit. No way. Because I know, like in school, when you vote for the class president, it's everybody voting. But when I learned it in school, they start talking about some damn electoral vote. Now at 17, 16, I automatically knew I wasn't fucking with this shit. I'm like, it never made no sense to me at all, period. All period. So for me to be a part of any system, I don't give a damn about either and stuff, like it don't make me none. I think, like I'm saying, we didn't come here to be citizens of America. And until we deal with that aspect of it, everything else is just a domino effect of us not dealing with that first thing, and you had Malcolm X that, went in, tried to get Africans to speak for us, during the UN. That was his thing before they killed him and stuff, and I really believe that was why they killed him, because he was going to embarrass America on a world level and stuff, whereas, you had Martin Luther King, and, big up to Martin Luther King too, because he eventually figured it out, and then they killed him too and stuff, but it's an international thing. Once you start fighting for civil rights and stuff, you're fighting for rights that's in America and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're not a citizen of here. You're gonna get Dred Scotted and stuff. We were never a part of the system. So in order to use the system to try to think you're gonna change the system and stuff. So is there an African American seat at the UN? Hell no. You got to go up under the goddamn American shit and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get the world to witness, or to speak for you and stuff, So it never made sense to be a part of this system and try to use this system. So I don't care about either or. I agree with local voting, because that's like voting in school and stuff. There ain't no electoral vote when you voting locally and stuff. I agree with that, because I can actually see a change in my immediate area and stuff. I never seen a change from the damn president other than damn Reagan. That was the only one I seen that shit affected everybody. You know what I'm saying? Reaganomics was the worst shit ever and stuff. But other than that,
man, they think they got it bad with Trump, man.
Man,
they didn't go through Ronald Reagan, man.
No, they ain't seen that, because everything else, like I'm saying, we all dealing with domino effect stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is an after effect. Even this generation, they didn't see crack. They don't even know. But they living through it, but they don't even know that they living through it and stuff, But that whole thing right there, just itself alone, just crack alone, man. Come on, man. That's the reason why we are where we are right now.
Say, man, and I'm gonna get this to Dimitri. Man, y'all don't have a clue, man.
No,
Y'all ain't go through Reagan. You ain't go through the crack era.
Nah.
Hey man, and that's why we saying, and boy, you look, these folks so tricky with what they do.
Yep.
When it was the crack era, you were killing us, sending us to jail,
Man.
all that because it were black people on crack.
Man.
Now it's the meth era, you send them to the rehab.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, the breakdown of the black family happened. The final nail in the coffin was dismantled with crack. Everything else we live in is an after effect right now and stuff. You know, people try to be like, oh no, it's this, you know, in rap music and this, like, nah. You don't understand the crack era and stuff. You don't understand that, you know, the disrespect and the disconnect from older people to younger people happened through crack and stuff, you know, because prior to crack coming, we respected our elders, you know, like, you know, we respected older people and we looked up to our older brothers and sisters and stuff, you know, we looked up to our uncles and aunties, and, you know, now, you know, we live in an era where, you know, our aunties is looked at as smokers, our uncles is looked at as smokers and stuff, because what happened with the crack thing is that you had a 13-year-old serving dope to a 31-year-old man and stuff, or a 31-year-old woman. All respect was lost from the younger generation at the time. Like, I was 13 or 14 and I still had respect for older people, but a lot of older people was doing things that was, you know, degrading and downgraded their level, but we still looked at them on a high level. But if you're dealing drugs and stuff and you're in that world, you know, and then you got that older uncle that you respected and he just stole something from you and stuff, you know, or, you know, that older person in the neighborhood that everybody respected in, you know, is, you know, they did something that, you know, was very disrespectful. They got to get disciplined and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not condoning it, but that's just what the world was and stuff, you know, at that time and stuff. So now you got a younger generation that's younger than me. I'm 13 or 14, but you got a younger generation that's coming up that's doing this, and they don't know the big uncle got the stature that he had. They don't know big auntie had her stature and stuff. All they know is she's a smoker. So, you know, we're dealing with like 35 years later of this right now. If you was a crack baby born in 84 and stuff, right now you're about 35 or 36 years old. So you got crack babies that's grandparents right now. We all fucked up right now, you know. So, you know, so all of the drugs that kids is doing now, they do everything. Everything under the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't come up doing no pills. I wasn't. We was just smoking weed and probably drink something. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, like, we, you know, you had a few people that did some sherm, but that was like specialty type people. But for the most part, you know, these kids do everything, you know, right now. But this disrespect and this disconnect from the old to the young, even to the point of passing down music. Like, older people pass down music to us. So we knew what oldies was. Ask some kids what some oldies now and stuff. You know, they don't have a clue of no Earth, Wind and Fire, no Stevie Wonder and stuff. This was like, you know, a staple in the black community. You get together socially at somebody's big mama house and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all jamming to the oldies and stuff. Yeah, you had your newer, younger music and stuff, but the younger kids always loved the older stuff. We learned from the older people and stuff. Now you had when the 90s came and stuff, you started having this older people trying to be like young people and shit. That shit just flip-flopped and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But that all came from the crack era and stuff, is what I'm saying, as far as the disrespect and the disconnect, as far as respecting younger people, respecting older people and stuff. So all of the things that we learned from the older people, even like when we was younger, like, you want to go to the older club. You know what I'm saying? You want to be like the older people. Now these younger people are like, oh, that's that old shit. Get that old shit out. We never said that with our music. We never disrespected older people when it came to that and stuff. You know, even though we was young and had our own way, we still was not disrespectful to them. But, you know, that crack era just messed us all up, is what I'm saying. I don't mean to be talking.
Well, man, I'm gonna say this here. I got this comment from Krishan Swafford, and she said that didn't mean people had to get addicted to drugs.
No,
you can have it. You can have it after this. During the crack era, people were addicted to something.
Yeah.
It was drugs, it was money, it was something.
Yeah.
You was addicted to all this faking that we be doing. Like, oh, you shouldn't have sold dope back in the day, Monroe. Well, I shouldn't have, but you was my gal, so you were taking the dope money.
Come on.
You was addicted to the money.
Come on, man. Like, you know,
with that faking, man.
Yeah, and
Everybody was addicted to something during the crack era.
Real,
so if
real
you wasn't there, you don't know what it was like.
Real talk.
Ain't nothing like you going working at McDonald's. You done work the 8-hour shift and come home and see a 12-year-old kid sitting on the porch with $4,000 in his hand.
Man, you got up out of it. You got up out of the McDonald's game at that point.
And you run around here telling me I need to go to the church and get the free cheese. You got me messed up, dog.
No, that's real. That's real. People don't understand it and stuff because everybody wasn't on crack. You know but like you said, people was addicted to the money. It had a millionaire damn near on every street in South Central LA. It was all around us and stuff. It wasn't just the people that was smoking dope. It was the whole crack era, period. Everything that came with, like how you saying and stuff. People was addicted to the money and stuff. We lost so many people, you know, behind it and stuff, you know. So
my brother, I'm gonna say this here. That game taught me a lot about survival that I use till this day.
Yeah.
It taught me how to get up off my behind because you have to be the first on the block, the lab one to leave. If you was really out there to get your money. You feel what I'm saying? So it kind of behooves me. And Krishan, she gave a better understanding of what she was saying. But for the people that don't get it, it's easy for you to sit in your little suburbs right now and run your mouth. And man, you know, y'all did what you did. You was on the same block I was on. You just got a loan for a house, dude.
Yeah.
You were hustling just like me.
Yeah.
But the only problem I got with it, nowadays, man, I ain't never sold nothing for $2. Y'all selling pills for $2, $7, taking a 30-year penitentiary chance for what?
Right.
$7?
Right. Yeah, it ain't even worth it. It's not even worth it. You know, because we was living it, so we didn't realize the effects in what was happening. And I was getting back to the point and stuff, you know, like that was the nail in the coffin, but we didn't even understand that it was the nail in the coffin. We thought we coming from the Reaganomics and stuff, and you getting all these, you know, all these things that existed and stuff, you know, at the parks and stuff, you know what I'm saying, all the stuff that with the kids that was into, they didn't have nowhere to go and stuff. So now you have an opportunity that opened up. You know, for me, it was hip hop that opened up my opportunity and stuff. And even within that, you know, I had a lot of friends that was doing hip hop that was probably would have been great LA hip hop stars and stuff. But, you know, the crack was more alluring. The money was more alluring than hip hop at that point in '84. You know, you spinning on your head at the beach and stuff, but then you was making some little chump change at the beach. And then you go back home and then like you got the homies at home. Like you said, you walk up and some little 13, 12-year-old got about $4,000 in their hand and stuff. You like, damn the hell with this hip hop stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it gave me, you know, an outlet. But I tried my hand, but you know, God was over that hand and stuff. And it just didn't work. And I'm so glad I didn't, you know, it didn't, you know, because I got a lot of people that's not here right now and stuff. You know, I got a lot of people that's still in prison, you know, behind the things that was happening at that particular time and stuff.
Well,
you know?
Ms. Demetra, let me ask you a question, and my friend Akil, he can jump in on it. You know, as much criticism as folks get from that era for dope, I think the dope game, the prison game, as well as all these laws that Biden was a part of, right? That was during that era.
Right.
And as much as you wanted to say, well, I wrote this because the streets were wild. No, you wrote that to fill up the prison beds.
Right.
That's why you wrote it, to send people to jail. Because I tell people, you know, Cali got a saying, you go on vacation, you leave on probation.
Right.
So, you know, if you go down there, you sub not to come home.
Right.
So, you know, Demetra, see if you can kind of link that in from that era. You know that era. And a lot of these people here don't know that era. So we got the crack game popping in 93, 94. That's when it was really going down. Because when it first took off, it was what it was, 93, 94. That's when everybody had figured it out. They moving like they need to move. They making real money. All right? But now you got these people in Washington who actually, during the Freeway Rick and Ross era, you know, you supplying the dope.
Yeah.
You bringing the dope to LA. The government is bringing the dope to LA. But then you got Biden writing laws to lock everybody up.
Right.
Demetra, talk to me.
Well, and you actually took the words right out of my mouth, because in the comment section, I see people being a little bit judgmental, saying you didn't have to do the crack, and you had choices and all this other stuff. But to your point, the CIA admitted that they dropped crack off into our neighborhoods, in addition to the things that Reagan was doing, in addition to the laws that Biden was writing, making the disparaging, or the difference rather, between crack and powder cocaine, sentencing Black people more harshly due to crack. And so also you have to add in that the economic struggles that were going on in our neighborhoods. Listen, I'm not saying that people should have been doing it, but listen, if I don't have a job, I don't know how I'm gonna feed my kids. I'm gonna go look for an outlet or something to kind of, rob me of what's going on for a minute. And that thing happened to be crack. But I think we forget that that was done by design. It was designed to tear up Black neighborhoods. And so you guys, I would say you're fortunate enough to be on a judgmental side and say, well, you don't have to do that, because you perhaps didn't have a loved one that succumbed to the crack era. I did, not personally doing it, but someone very near and dear to me struggled with crack cocaine for 22 years. And I'm not talking about some dude who was a nobody. I'm talking about somebody who had his own business, who was properly mobile, who had this together. So this affected a whole bunch of people. And so I think we need to educate ourselves instead of being judgmental and saying, well, you didn't have to do it. Of course they did. But go ahead.
You're exactly right and stuff, because like what you're saying, the economic disparity, what was happening, people had jobs in 80, and then when Reagan came in, all these jobs erased. You had your Rockwells and you had your Hughes aircrafts and stuff, and Black people were doing well and stuff, because you have to realize we just came from 68 with King just getting killed, and then for only like 10 years, this gap of so-called people coming up doing well, it only existed for a short time. But once 80 came, so all these things that people gathered, they had homes and stuff, you had people that was doing rather well and had jobs and stuff, so all of these things get taken away. So now you got people that's like trying to like figure out how they're going to make it, because now you don't have these jobs and these things that's happening. You didn't have to do it. You didn't have to do crack or whatnot and stuff. But like what you're saying, we was targeted. We was targeted for this and stuff, So you have a whole generation of people like, I got like a couple of aunties and stuff. One of my aunties is she's in a hospital right now, just been there for like about 20 something years, based upon, doing crack and stuff. My uncle, was on dope for a long time. He ended up getting off or whatnot and stuff, and these was real stand-up people. These is like not just a regular thug, you know what I'm saying? It's a difference and stuff, even in Los Angeles and stuff, people don't understand, like, it wasn't the thugs that sold drugs. It was your valedictorians, your basketball players that was most people that was supposed to be superstars in the neighborhood and stuff. But like I give example, one of my friends, he sold dope and he was really good at football. I played football, and so I was like, man, why don't you come back and play for the team? Like in high school, I'm like, man, you can make millions of dollars, man, go to the pros and stuff. He said, I already got $1 million. So what else could I tell him? There's nothing that I could tell him and stuff, because people were already making the things that you would think that you just work hard and just strive and just do what you can do. All that shit, you know what I'm saying? That shit went out the door. Like you said, when you come home and you see somebody that they made $4,000 and all they did was just sit up there and, at home, like the allurement, people don't understand the allurement of the money was like everywhere. It wasn't so this is bad, you shouldn't be doing this type stuff, because you had your closet smokers and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if people know what a closet smoker is and stuff. Somebody that's doing drugs that you don't even know that they smoking drugs. Somebody mama hiding it, like you had the mailman that was, on smoking drugs and stuff. You had all these people that you looked at that were the top echelons of the Black community and stuff, had succumbed to this. Either they sold dope and got caught up, or either they started smoking drugs and whatnot and stuff. So
A
you
lot,
have
a lot of people didn't realize that during that era, it's like black people only had three options.
Yep.
You know, we could either sell crack, do hip hop, or do sports. And most of the time, the crack financed the hip hop. That's what you ended up with one of them.
And that was early on, because it wasn't, that's what I was saying as far as my outlets was hip hop, because like what you're saying, I say, either you went to college, and most people didn't go to college at that time. You only had a few people that was in school that went to college and stuff, but then you had these good jobs. Either you had a good job, you was working at Rockwell, you had a great job or something, you know what I'm saying? You play sports. If you was a sports star, then that was gonna be your way out. And then you had certain people that had special talents that they can sing, or and so people didn't look at them to be a part of the hood and stuff. But if you ain't had nothing to do, oh yeah, you finna work whatever's going on, So these outlets end up drying up and stuff. So the only outlets at the time and stuff, you know what I'm saying, was that how you was gonna get up out of the ghetto, because that was the whole main thing. How you gonna get up out of the ghetto and stuff, So it was like, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna get away, or I'm gonna play sports and I'm gonna try to make it to the league, or I'm gonna try to get this good job and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, like you said, your options was limited. But when hip hop came for me, you can dance, you can graffiti, because I grew up in the gang era. So, most of the gang members, when hip hop came, they started doing hip hop. A gang member taught me how to break dance and stuff, So to show you that the disparities and stuff, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't there, that it opened up, hip hop opened up. But what wasn't in hip hop at that time in '84 was money. It was only Run DMC making money. And, it wasn't, your Houdinis and stuff. It wasn't like it is today. Man, people that didn't live that time and stuff, they really try to equate what they're living right now into the past and stuff, and that's where you go wrong at. You're trying to equate how you living right now and what's going on right now in hip hop. Like, y'all making money? No, there was no money.
I'm gonna ask you this, Dimitri. Venicia Johnson says opiates is gonna wipe out the white community. It's so systemic. The doctors and pharmaceutical companies got it on lock. I say that's not a true statement, because they've already brought the treatment aspect into the game, to save their children. They didn't do that for us. The only treatment you got, if you were a crack addict, they threw you in a jail cell. And they left you there, and you had to fight off them demons on your own. You didn't get any treatment. Now, imagine if that crack mom was pregnant. Okay, now she gonna give birth to a crack baby.
Man.
Now that crack baby gonna grow up, and give birth to these monsters that we dealing with right now. I don't want. See, that's what they want you to believe. They'll never wipe out their community.
No,
because they brought the treatment game into it from the game.
Early,
and they have never treated the crack era babies.
No.
What treatment could you get for being on crack?
No, you was gonna lock somebody up that had drugs and stuff. You was locking people up that got caught with drugs. And they wasn't selling it, they just was smoking it. You know what I'm saying? And you locking these people up. You didn't provide no type of help, like what you're saying. That didn't exist with us. And we're seeing the end result of that right now within the black community. We all fucked up. I'm not a pessimistic type of person. I believe that at the end of the day, I'm a God-fearing person. So I know that good will overcome evil. Whether we live to see that shit is a whole nother thing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not pessimistic at all, but I'm realistic too. Our shit is fucked up right now. And we have to really realize that.
One of the earlier pandemics, y'all going through a pandemic right now? We had a pandemic called the crack era. That was a pandemic.
Yeah.
But it was a black pandemic.
Yeah. We still haven't survived that. We're still dealing with the effects of that right now. Just like I said, just in explaining just how no music has been passed down. That's a tragedy in itself right there and stuff. How you had all these black stars that had great music and stuff. Because what I noticed is that all these kids are depressed. They don't know how to love. they don't know how to compartmentalize love and stuff. So like I did a live one time, and I just played all oldies, all slow jams and stuff. And the trajectory of how people thought, and they was like, man, this is great. It was kids that never even heard this shit before and stuff, but it made them understand what love is, you know, because the songs back then and stuff, you know, I'm saying the objective, yeah, you still trying to get a girl, but it was like a lot more, you know, and a girl's trying to get a man and stuff, but it wasn't as like, yo, let's go to the bathroom and let's go have sex, you know, let's go to the dance floor and go have some sex and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I just don't want to be lonely. I you know what I'm saying? You know, the music had a lot to do with people loving. Ain't no love in the world and stuff because ain't no slow jams. People don't know nothing about no real slow jams and stuff, you know, like, but this comes from like that older person got smoked out. And they didn't have time to pass down this music. And then before you realize it, like I realized this like about 2 years ago, I said, oh my God, we ain't passed down no music. Ain't no music being passed down in the past. Like, I mean, since the 90s or whatnot and stuff, you know, like just the social gatherings that we used to get together and have and stuff, you know what I'm saying? The music was a healing. The music was a healing. And so on that alone, I can go ahead.
Dimitri, were you and Talib healed when you would go to the skating rink Friday, Saturday night? We get that musical healing at the skating rink, or we could really go to the house party and have a goddamn good time.
Great time.
It wasn't nothing like seeing Frankie Beverly at the Budweiser Superfest in the LA Coliseum, man. I done did that.
Come on, man.
I did that, man.
Come on, man.
You see what I'm saying? Say, man, and don't get it twisted. I ain't trying to make love to you, listening to no Takesha 6ix9ine and no goddamn Nicki Minaj. I'm trying to put the Luther on, and I'm talking about the big Luther. Because I knew one thing: if Luther came on, them panties coming down.
Right. It just was a different time, man. It was just different era, and I'm not trying to say, oh, we need to go back and stuff, but I'm just saying recognize what we've been through. If we recognize what, you know, like, you know, people, you know, that's what history is for, so that you can realize what you've been through, so that you, when you see it again, you can just avoid it and stuff, you know, or you can do things and or even take things that was good back then and then be like, yo, we need to add this to our thing right now and stuff, you know. It's just you know, it's that's why history is powerful. And once you erase history, and I think that's what's happening right now, is history is being totally erased. And you know,
I think that's what made Death Row, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg and them so successful. They tapped into an era of music that people could not understand. Oh, that's that West Coast sound. No, that's actually Earth, Wind & Fire, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And Dre would tell it to him.
Right.
All I'm doing is just using a piece of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you are totally right, Miss Dimitri. I'm hip hop, so you got to stop me. You got to stop me, man. But that people don't get it when Snoop is actually smoking a blunt and he listening to the dramatics.
Exactly.
And he really into this shit, man.
Exactly. That's the music we grew up. That's what I'm saying as far as that era. I feel like everything kind of stopped in '92. You know, after that album and stuff, then people just tried to copy that what was going on. But then it was just like, it wasn't just that. It was just a whole social thing that happened and stuff. You know, it was a whole social gathering because, like you said, those people were copying the older music and stuff. And I like the kids now and stuff. I don't try to, you know, diss the kids right now and stuff, because I recognize that, you know, sometimes you need a hug and stuff, and you need some people to, you know, to be understanding towards you. And because once you point the finger and you start like, oh no, that ain't real hip hop and this, that, and the other and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Then automatically you're gonna go against whoever's going against you and stuff. This is just natural and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But what I can't relate to a lot of it because of this point right here. The music that they're playing, you know, it's just an 808. And then it's a chant that's mesmerizing, you know what I'm saying? It has you hypnotized and stuff, and you just saying a couple of words and stuff. But the music part, you know, yeah, they're melodic with their thing and stuff, but the music don't connect with the older music and stuff. So they're not sampling older music and stuff. What they think is old is some 90s shit and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I mean, God bless them, but you know that, you know, like they're not connected to real music. Like, you know, like when Run DMC came out, it was just drums and instead, dun, dun, it wasn't no music. But then we started sampling. Then all of the older people that was trying to diss hip hop, they like, oh, I like that. Oh, they use that Betty Wright. Oh, I like that. Then because they seen the connection and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you know, right now I see the disconnect because the music is not the same. It's cool. Like that 808, yeah, you're gonna, yeah, and it's hypnotizing. So yeah, you like the beat sometimes, but then what they talking about ain't even connecting you with it. It's nothing that they're saying that's, you know, even relevant. And I'm not saying you got to be like, oh, you know, so positive and do the right thing type rap and stuff, you know, just you not saying shit, period. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what, man, I do a little music, and you know, I be making these hit songs every now and then, and I got a political song that I think I got the nation singing, especially black people that's bamboozled.
yeah,
Is watch, I bet me and you could make some money off this. I
hey,
bet we can make some money. Watch,
right.
it's simple, like you say, they gonna say it over and over and same old chant. Joe Biden gonna hit you with the dick. Joe
Ooh.
Biden gonna hit you with the dick. Joe Biden gonna hit you with the dick. The one thing I've never seen, I've gone to a couple of these newfangled hip hop situations. I've never, and you know what? I want somebody to tell me where it happened at. I've never seen a fight at a Maze concert. I've never seen a fight
Mm,
at an Anita Baker concert.
mm,
Now I'm gonna say this, and this gonna trip some people out. I never
mm,
actually saw a fight at an NWA concert.
mm, mm,
You
mm.
may have. Some shit might have
I
popped
don't know.
up.
I never even seen them perform. I ain't gonna even lie.
I've never seen a fight. But nowadays, you can't go watch Lil Joe and the Pig Feets
Oh,
at the local cafe without somebody shooting up the whole goddamn place.
yeah. It's the frequencies. It's the frequencies. Like, you know, we not vibing on, like I was explaining about the slow jams and, you know, the music that it was on a higher frequency. It's like, yo, you know, they're making music on lower frequencies. So you're attracting people with that lower frequency. And so now they're down, you know, the whole vibe and the whole mission is on a down note. It's not on a higher note. Cause like when you say you play, you know, joy and pain, that's up. That's up. That's not like, yeah, you know,
But
that's low.
even nowadays, even the youngsters got to line it up.
Right.
Even when they go to a Maze concert, we got unwritten rules.
Right.
One, you need to walk in clean as a clap doctor.
Right.
They already know this. Two, ain't no fighting at the Maze concert. Whatever beef you gonna get into that. Matter of fact, you can't fight in the parking lot at a Maze concert.
Right.
So it's just like we got unwritten rules. So, bro, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I've enjoyed myself. Dimitri, I'm sorry I overtook this, but you know, it just wow. You know, but I appreciate it. I appreciate you and your guys' contribution to hip hop.
Man,
it was definitely needed at a time, I think, where we had a true void in the game, and because we was coming out of something. So, and I always tell people, and maybe you can elaborate, the type of hip hop that you do, you know, is what they like. Well, we need some positive. It's always guys out there to do positive.
Right.
But the way the game is set up now, they not gonna market and promote it. They ain't gonna put no money behind it.
No.
They want you to be half naked,
right?
And be Megan and Nikki, and they want to see some ass and titties.
Right. Because that's what sells. Dimitri, you want to say something? Okay. Yeah, I mean that's what sells. And Mark, you know, you do. I mean, you old enough to know, you man. Remember when Public Enemy was everybody wanted to be like Public Enemy. So if it makes money, it don't matter, even if it's positive and stuff. If it makes money, the whole basis is that if it makes money and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody was into X-Clans and Poor Righteous Teachers, and you know they was into the positive stuff. Everybody had black medallions and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because they making money off of, you know, off of these things and stuff, you know. So if it makes money for them, yeah, you can talk all you want about the white man all day long and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You can say whatever you want because it makes money. Even the Jew would like, you know, you don't matter, you know, because that makes money and stuff, you know. So that it became a money thing. And you know, and once, you know, you had the Chronic that came out in '92 and stuff, you know, that just murdered the whole game. That was really positive hip hop. You know what I'm saying? They were talking about the riots on there and stuff. You know, yeah, you got your, you know, little they weed smoking and stuff. But I don't that to me that was not like, you know, so negative and stuff. You know, it was just like, yo, you had all these different mixed emotions. It was black music. It was like, you know, and I'm of the idea that if black folks love it, if black folks like it, white folks love it. You know, so that's was the thing. And you know, and it was just good music, like what you were saying. It connected with that older music and stuff. But then everything else that came after that was, you know, cookie cutter. You know, and it became like, oh, this is what we're trying to do. And you had your good artists and stuff. You had your Tupacs and, you know, your Biggies and stuff. Those were, you know, had great artists and stuff. But once they were killed, that really opened up the door for two things. It opened up the door for the real hip hop that you're talking about and stuff, you know, but it became a separation in the industry. The people in the industry didn't accept it. So they call us alternative hip hop. They call us alternative. I'm like, what the fuck is alternative and stuff? You know what I'm saying? We do core hip hop that was raised in the ghettos, you know what I'm saying, in the Bronx, and, you know, like in the ghetto, real ghettos, real black ghetto music and stuff. This is what we do. But they turned it around and made it seem like this is alternative because a whole lot of white people gravitate towards the Jurassic 5s and the Most Defs and the Roots and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't seeing the hood black people come to those type of shows and stuff. You will see the neo soul people come to those type of events and stuff because, you know, that's just a different vibe and frequency and stuff. But as far as like your hood dudes, like that was into Master P's and all that and stuff, and, you know, and just regular, you know, hood rap and stuff, they divided us and made it seem like, yo, man, we ain't into that. So you had your fans that was be like, oh, the fans of these people, they'd be like, man, I ain't into that shit. You know what I'm saying? That, man, I want this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? This type of music or whatnot and stuff. Oh, that's that positive stuff. I ain't into that shit and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it became a divide, you know, as far as from an industry standpoint and stuff and who they were going to support, you know. So they have, you know, your people like, you know, like we was on with the Black Eyed Peas and stuff, you know, on Interscope, you know, and in the beginning, you know, they was just like us, you know. But then once they did that, Where's the Love song, that took them over the top on an alternative side and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because Jimmy Iovine told Will, he said the hip hop kids, they think y'all are knockoff Roots. They think you like the Roots, but you a knockoff Fuji Roots type of thing. So they don't really totally mess with you. And then, you know, you got the hood people that think y'all some weirdos and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you need to go this route. You need to grab that girl, Fergie, and add her, you know, to your equation and stuff. And then Where's the Love? And then it became something totally different and stuff. So they figured out their lane and stuff. But for a group like Jurassic 5 and stuff, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't, you know, I stayed constantly battling against that alternative label that was placed on us and stuff, regardless if the crowd is majority white folks and stuff. But this is what we were dealing with. I had a promotional guy, a radio promotional guy that was black. So I said, let me go to the label and so that he know it's niggas in the group and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me, you know. So this one, when our first album was finna come out and stuff, and I was like, yo, you know, what can we do to get in that urban world? You know what I'm saying? You know, I grew up in the hood. I want black folks to know Jurassic 5 as well and stuff. You know, what can we do and stuff? You know, he's like, make black music and stuff. Here's a black person that told me to make black music and stuff at a label. So it wasn't a white person telling us this. This is the niggas. So, you know, you feel me? So it was a definitely divide that was going on and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying it wasn't no white person at a label, you know, because most people have an experience and they think all these white people try to make you do this and that. Nah, man, these were some niggas that love their job and their position and stuff. And they couldn't promote us, so they had to make up some shit why they couldn't promote us and stuff. Oh, they ain't making black music and shit, you know what I'm saying? So,
Mr. Demetrius, final words, sweetie.
Well, I would say I have thoroughly enjoyed both of your conversation. I knew that Gary was going to really enjoy it because Gary is of the hip hop scene too. He's in Texas, so he's familiar with all the Texas artists and then some artists out here. I'm on the West Coast. So I knew that you two would chop it up. So I love just listening. Sometimes I talk a lot, but I like to listen too. So Akil, tell us what you're doing now and where can we find you?
I'm on all the social medias. IG, Akil the MC, Facebook, Akil the MC, or Akil Talib, for my personal one. YouTube, Akil the MC, Akil the MC, everything and stuff. That's where I'm at right now. And then I'm just working on trying to figure out this new move right now, because we ain't doing no performances. So like that's where I was able to make my money at, and so I'm just really trying to figure the next moves out right now. Still making music or whatnot, and but just trying to be positive and optimistic about what's going on, because I know things happen for a reason and stuff. So I'm definitely trying to place myself and still continue to be able to just feed my family and feed the people and support. I do a lot of mentor workshops and stuff, which ain't happening right now. You know what I'm saying? So I try to give it back. I try to give back, because somebody gave it to me. So I feel the obligation to be able to give it back to the next person and stuff. I teach show coordination and stuff, because a lot of people got whack shows and stuff. So I'm like, I hate going to a show listening to somebody rap over their vocals and stuff, so I'm like, let me teach, and show people that there is other options and stuff, because these kids don't know that they have other options or whatnot. So I'm just really just trying to be the creative that I am. I like taking pictures, I edit video, and so I'm just and as well as I like speaking out from I don't like to say political standpoint, but from a critical standpoint of us.
Well, I will most definitely say thank you so much for coming on. And anytime you want to come on, just let us know. We'll be more than happy to have you talk about anything you want to talk about. And then again, Charles, I don't see him on here, but I would like to thank him as well for connecting us together so we can have this very insightful conversation.
And you guys that signed up for the class, Walter has started sending out the link. I got my link. If you didn't get it, I will Dimitri, if you can, contact Walter and let him know we need to get that link out to everybody that paid for class. Tomorrow is stocks and stock options. Black people should be able to get some of this money from the stock market too. And one of the best in the business is going to teach us a class tomorrow. Going to put us in the game. Going to walk us through how to open an E-Trade account, how to buy stocks or stock options from the gate. $25. Man, I'm taking that. So if you ain't signed up, you running out of time, because it's tomorrow night, and there will not be a war zone tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we go to stock class. And if you ain't in the class, you ain't going to make the money. I'm trying to figure out, the man say you can get a whole house on the beach.
Wow.
In the where you say Cancun.
Ooh.
$400 a month. Man, I'm taking that. I'm taking that. But brother, thank you so much. And like she said, you free to come back to the show anytime you get ready. You family, anybody that's been in the game that paved the way for a lot of good kids, because y'all did it for me back when I fell off in the game late. And it because of good cats like you that put the work in, that allowed me to get out my neighborhood, make it up to LA, West Hollywood, go straight down La Brea, turns into Crenshaw Boulevard.
Exactly.
And I'm in South Central. They think I can win. La Brea turns into Crenshaw.
Exactly, man, thank you. I had a great time. I love the conversation. I love, definitely the people in the chats and stuff. Much love to everybody out there. Man, this is beautiful. I definitely would love to come back, and that definitely anytime. Just hit me up, Dimitri, anytime. It's all good.
All right, brother. Well, y'all know what it is, man. And if you ain't in the class tomorrow night, you gonna be broke during this pandemic. I want to thank my co-host Donovan Sadiq for working the comments, the Queen Dimitri K, and my man True Hip Hop Royalty. True Hip Hop Royalty, Akil MC from Jurassic 5. So I'm going to school tomorrow, man. Get this money. If you ain't signed up for the class, that's on you. We gonna get this money tomorrow night, man.
Thank you.
Time for black people to have this money, man. We'll holler at y'all.
All right.
Tomorrow.